I've bought into two myths in my business journey. It was hustle culture and then it was work-life balance. And today I'm going to open the shed up and show you that there's an integration between both, and it's called a lifestyle empire. Come and check it out. There's a reason that the ultra successful look like they've got it figured out, and they kind of do. It's taken me about 5 years to understand that life and business are a lot more fulfilling when we unpack three components, and they are our purpose, love, and danger. And before I lose you here, love and danger, I know we're getting a little airy-fairy, but let me unpack it and make some sense of it. See, when I was starting out, life lived in the purpose component, and it was all about creating some status and having impact. Because the company's still small, and you're positioning yourself as, somebody of interest. And you also start to think about the impact that the business has on those around you. The team members, the lives of people that you're impacting, and also that you're now the reason that your team members can put food on the table for their families. So we start off thinking about purpose, and we drive our status, and we have this burning desire to succeed. And we also want our business to have some impact on the world. But if we only focus on this side, we can be left to feel a little bit unfulfilled, a little bit empty. And you can achieve some of the material things in life, and you can load up your shed for argument's sake, but there's something that needs to go a little bit deeper. And this is where the other two sides come in when we consider love and danger. So let's dig a little bit deeper into love. Although it sounds airy-fairy, love is just about self-care and our connections. And what I mean by this is, you've seen how the business can be all-consuming and it takes your entire attention, and some things fell at the wayside. We might have stopped playing sport. We might have forgotten about our hobbies. We might have stopped working out and caring for ourselves. So as we start to build some status and impact throughout our purpose side, we then need to pivot a little bit and bring some self-care, some love into the scenario. Love for ourselves so that we can be the driving energy that brings our purpose to life. And connections become super important as well, because most of us did start our business pre-children, and we might have had our partner at the time, or we might have been a single guy on the loose, but nonetheless, as our business starts to grow, we mature as men as well. And we start to understand that connections are a very, very important part of our life. Now, this isn't just about our wider community. This is about our home life, the connections we have with our partner and our children, and leads very well into the connection we actually have with ourselves. And those ultra successful that we alluded to a little bit earlier start to link these together. You'll notice that they are looking after themselves. You'll notice that they do have deep and meaningful connections with their family and their peers. But where does danger fit into this? Let's take a look. Danger is about adrenaline and adventure. You've probably had this danger urge over the years as you've been growing the company, and as you start to look after yourself a little bit more, you have this urge, this desire, whether that's to go out into the outback, go out bush, go camping, whether it's to go into the great outdoors, or whether it is to travel a little bit, to see some more of the world, seeking out some excitement. But danger isn't just about adrenaline and adventure. There's also a dark side to danger too. See, if we don't enable ourselves to strike this equilibrium between purpose, love, and danger, we can find ourselves falling and seeking into some dangerous habits, which is where drugs and alcohol tend to creep in for those that haven't mastered the self-love and self-care and haven't considered the connections and those around them. We can see how if we didn't give ourselves permission to take some adventure, to let our curious mind go on some adventures, and didn't spike ourselves with a little bit of adrenaline from motorbikes or going behind the boat, we might find ourselves leading into maybe seeking some danger in partying or some danger in some nefarious areas. And this has a detrimental effect then not only on our love and connections, but also on our purpose. Because if we push too hard in that danger realm without channeling that energy into a meaningful outlet, we can find ourselves starting to deteriorate the other areas. So today, I want to run through a couple of exercises that we can bring our purpose, love, and danger together to build your lifestyle empire and make business and life a integration. This is not about work-life balance. We're going to unpack this further with purpose, love, and danger. Let's get into it. If this has piqued your curiosity, like and subscribe, and we'll continue on. Let's start with unpacking our purpose. As we know, we have status and impact, which are two very important pieces about driving the business forward and giving ourselves that personal fulfillment. For our exercise, you can think about this, you can conceptualize it, or you can pull out a scrap piece of paper and draw along with me. But first, we want to understand, what do we want to be known for as an individual? What does our status actually bring for us? We're going to break this down into, let's say, 4 questions, a bit of a Socratic style questioning, where we're going to ask ourselves this question 4 times over. What do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known for a key person of influence? Cool, understood. But why? So that I am proud of the work I do. But why? So that my parents are proud of me. Even though we're running out of page, I'm going to run this one more time. Why do we want our parents to be proud of us? Well, if we consider this a little bit deeper, and I'm getting a little bit vulnerable with you here to answer this from my own perspective, and I want to add an extra piece in. Let's give myself a little extra page, although it may be cut off, because I believe the true reason for my status and the true reason for what do I want to be known for is not just to be a key person in the business space. It's not just to be proud of my work internally. It's not just to seek that validation and connection from my parents to be proud of myself. It's for my kids to be proud of me. And that is an exercise that I want you to think about. If you ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? 4 to 5 times in a row, we will get down to this root cause, this true meaning as to why you crave status and what do you really want to be known for in the world. Let's move our attention over to impact. Because when we consider impact, this is about what kind of impact we want our business to have on the world. And you can span out the world as far as you want. If you're building a global empire, absolutely you can use the term world. If you're thinking about mastering your marketplace, we can bring that home and we can refine that down a little bit. But what impact do you want your business to have on the world? What impact do you want the business to have on society? Do you want to dominate your industry? And we're going to ask ourselves why again. Why do we want to dominate the industry? You're thinking about this as we talk. We're going to ask ourselves why again, continuing this Socratic questioning to get to the root cause. We can go 4 and 5 times asking yourself why over and over. By the time we finish this, you have a very clear understanding of what drives your desire for status. What do you really want to be known for? And what forces are pushing us to achieve our impact? And what impact do we actually want to have on the world or society? And we ask ourselves these questions over and over. This isn't just a once-off exercise. This is something that you may choose to repeat over and over. And if you're wondering where you want your business to go, we start here and then we translate the information over to some financial targets. All right, to save us feeling too hippie woohoo in the love area, I'm going to set us a very easy activity to break apart our self and our connections and get some priorities in order. As you know, I'm a pretty straight shooter. I keep things very rational, and this will be no different. So when we consider love, we think about ourself and our self-care, there's 2 core questions that we should be asking ourselves. What actions can I take that keep me feeling great? And if ignored, what actions drain my energy? So we have 4 sections that we can work with here of the actions that keep me feeling great. If you're someone like me and like to stay healthy, you'll know that gym or working out to some degree is one of the most important things that help us feel great. Now, you could also say that sleep, nutrition, and to be a little bit woohoo, earthing or being outside. I know that these activities help me to feel great. And I also know that if I don't do these activities, I feel drained, tired, exhausted, and a little bit chaotic. Now I want you to think about what are the 4 to 5 actions that keep you feeling great? And if we ignore those, what happens to your energy? This is a good chance for us to think about not just driving our business forward, not seeking status and impact in its own silo, but unpacking how do we look after ourselves to make sure that we can put as much energy into that side and still live a fulfilling life. But If we just focus on our business and we just focus on ourselves, we do become very self-centered, which is why we need to have two components to love, not just loving thyself, but the connections and those we have around us. And you'll know that we have a list of 10 here. This is the top 10 people in our world. You could think of this as a little throwback to your MySpace top friends. We want to consider, who are the top 10 people? Is it our wife or partner? Is it our children? Is it our parents? And then who are the friends, connections, mentors, coaches, people that influence us, that are the most important to us? Because as you know, and you're starting to put this picture together, we have probably ignored a few of these people from time to time, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. But for us to live a fulfilling and enriched life, we do need to have some meaningful relationships that are outside of our work. We do need to look after ourselves so that we can maintain our energy. And we also do need that status and impact that we spoke about a little bit earlier. The piece you've all been waiting for, really, is to get into danger so that we can unpack adventure and adrenaline. And I want you guys to think about what we've worked through so far before we get to the really exciting part. I'm going to get a new page, and we're going to start with danger. The third area that we need to consider to build a fulfilling life and to have depth and meaning in the work we do, it's not just about purpose and love. It's about danger. And I've got an awesome bucket right here. What we're going to work through today is our bucket list. Because too often we only think about what we want the business to achieve and what we want to personally achieve out of that as well. And we can't forget about adrenaline and adventure. We have two sides to our page today. We have two sides to our activity today, adrenaline and adventure. And I want you to consider now, what are the items that sit on the adrenaline side of our bucket list? And what are the items that sit on the adventure side of our bucket list? Are we thinking about traveling? Are we thinking about some kind of amazing race? Are we thinking a marathon? It doesn't just have to be extreme. It doesn't have to be skydiving. It can be as simple as a family trip. It could even just be an outdoor walk. It doesn't have to be extreme. The reason that we are unpacking this is so that you can see in a mind map example, what are the things that light you up that aren't directly related to the people and looking after yourself and aren't directly related to the business, because there's other things we enjoy. And if we overlook the danger component of our life, we will end up looking back and wondering to ourselves, what do we really enjoy? Do I still have hobbies? Do I still have interests? Or have I devoted my entire life to working solely in the business? So, consider what's on our bucket list. What adrenaline activities do we seek? And what adventure activities do we seek? And I've got another exercise for us just to bring this all together so that we can see how this looks on a weekly and a monthly basis. Let's draw them out. We've been working through purpose, love, and danger to build a fulfilling life. And we call this our lifestyle empire. But how do we bring this in to creating our ideal day and week? Well, I urge you to get your calendar out right now and break your week up into morning, noon, and afternoon. And start to block out, what are the actions that we do? Is this our time to work out in the morning? Is this our time for family breakfast? And start to calendar block the important things throughout our day. You may have some separate blocks for things that you do in the business, whether they're around deep work or whether they're reactive on-site works. And for your afternoon, is there some sacred family time? And is there also some time for you for learning or for recovery? Is there also some time for you for learning or for recovery? Now you can start to look at, what does one day look like, with working out in the morning and family breakfast and deep work when we get to work, and then we have some meetings, some site work. Our afternoons are filled with family and fun and laughter, and then our evenings may be set for recovery. And this may run all the way from Monday to Friday, and our weekends may be slightly different, with some activities not getting done, and also work blocks might be open to playtime. But without understanding our purpose, love, and danger, and the activities that we want to fit into our ideal day and week, we'd be running blind, and we'd probably end up filling our calendar with more work than we need to do. And you might be thinking, Sam, I have too much work. This begs the question of delegation and starts that conversation. How do we think about freeing up our time to give ourselves the space that we need to do the activities that we want to build our lifestyle empire? For years, I'd bought into this hustle culture mentality, and I'd gone heavy on the purpose side, building that status and impact. And it was all inside. It didn't have any feeling. It didn't bring the fulfillment that I really needed. And it took several years of personal development and scaling the business and seeing the impact that it had on those around me to truly understand that love and danger are very important components. Now, quite recently, I leant a little bit too hard into the danger side and did happen to shatter my foot behind the wakeboard boat. And I don't recommend leaning into danger that hard, but accidents do happen in the name of building a lifestyle empire. And this is the kind of activity that we work with hundreds of trade business owners and contractors to unlock more fulfillment in their life. And if it's something that you're interested in, you can click the link below in the show notes, or if you want to keep watching, we had another one up here for you.